Hi, readers. So today we are going to talk about homophones. A couple weeks ago, we talked about homographs. Do you remember homographs? So think about that for a minute. Homographs are two words that sound the same most of the time. Sometimes we can pronounce them differently. They're spelled the same way, but they do not mean the same thing. Okay, do you remember those? Well, today we're going to talk about homophones. So if you look right here, homo is in both of those. Homo means same, okay? So what does the phones mean? What's the difference between a homograph and a homophone? Okay, let's dig in deep and see if we can figure it out together. So homophones, remember like a phone? Think of a phone. They're words that sound the same, but have different spellings and different meanings. So homographs don't always, remember we can pronounce them differently, like wind and wind, but they're both spelled the same way and they have different meanings. But homophones sound the same, and that's pretty much it. They're not spelled the same way and they don't have the same meaning. So can you think of one? Does one pop into your head? What about night? When you think about night, what do you think of? All right, well, I think of good night. Well, that is spelled N-I-G-H-T. But what about knight and shining armor? They both sound the same, but there's an extra letter in that kind of knight. Do you know what extra letter is in that kind of knight? A K, right? So that's an example of a homophone. They just sound the same, just like on a phone, you can hear somebody, right? But that's it. They don't look the same and they don't mean the same thing. So let's dig into some of those homophones. See if you thought of any of these. Ready? Maid, like the cleaning person, and then made, like I made my bed, right? Oops, sorry, went too fast. All right, our next one, pair and pair, okay? Well, it's spelled differently, but it sounds the same. Pair, this pair is like a pair of shoes. This pair is like the fruit, right? All right, let's see if it can let me. Oh, what about this one? Hair. Hair on your head on this side and hair like the bunny rabbit on the other side. Sound the same, spelled different, definitely don't mean the same thing. All right, let's look at a couple more. Oh, see. I see with my eyes would be double E, and see like the ocean would be EA. Flu. Sound the same, don't mean the same, and are not spelled the same. Flu like the bird, flu, or flu like when you're sick. Okay, see how they're spelled differently? So did you know that there's more than 7,000 homophones in our English language? That is a lot. That's crazy. All right, so I am going to actually check to make sure that you have this worksheet printed out, okay? So we know homophones are two words that only sound the same. That is it. They are not spelled the same and they do not mean the same thing, okay? So you should have that worksheet either pulled up or printed out. I'm going to share my screen with you. And let's take a look at all these homophones. So they've got a lot of homophones. And if you notice, they're paired up together. So you might want to just box them real quick. All right, so let's just do the first four and we'll talk about them. Through, okay? So this kind of through means you're going through the tunnel, right? What kind of through does this mean? Right, like you threw the football, okay? Look at these fairs. These ones are kind of tricky. So this fair could be like, oh, that's not fair. It could also mean I'm going to the fair. That would be a homograph. All right, and then this fare is like if you pay money, sometimes they call it a fare. You pay a fare, okay? Here, what's this kind of here? I always look right here, and if it has ear in it, I know that it's the hear that you hear with your ear. So then the other one has to be right here, right? All right, then we've got break. So this kind of break is like, I'm gonna break it. And this kind of brake would be if you hit the brakes on your car, the brake that makes you stop, okay? All right, tide and tide sound the same. They don't mean the same thing. Do you know what this kind of tide is? Like the ocean tide, okay? And then this tide is like the bow, right? Like you tied your shoe. Oh, what about these? Mist. Oh, can you identify which one would be like that fog in the morning? What mist would that be? Yeah, M-I-S-T, right? So then this one would be like, oh man, I missed the shot. I missed the basketball shot, right? All right, and then we've got past. Which past would be like you passed your test? This one, right? And then this would be like it happened yesterday, past tense. All right, flour. You should be able to identify those pretty quickly. Flour that you bake with, is it the top or the bottom one? It's the top one. And then flour, like Mr. Garrett, no one gave me some flowers for Valentine's Day. That would be the second one, some flowers. Okay, so some of them are pretty easy, but other ones, if you're not the greatest speller, you might get tricked. All right, we've got two guest. Guest, like a person that comes to your house, would be the bottom one. And then guest and answer would be the top one. And then the last one, sale. Which sale would be, oh, thanks, you like my sweater? I got it on sale. Which one would that be? The top or the bottom? The top. So then this sale would be like on a what? On a boat, right? Okay. Maybe we can do a couple. So through, like this through is the football. This fair is the money. Here would be like we hear with our ear. Ooh, break. Maybe we did a broken stick. We did that tide. Mist, maybe the fog. I don't know how to draw past. Guest. All right, so now that we know all of the homophones, which means it sounds the same, but that is it. It doesn't mean the same thing, and it is not spelled the same. We're going to try to plug in some sentences with homophones. Now, the silly thing here is they've used both homophones We have to figure out which one goes where, okay? So it's gonna really take some thinking. We'll do 5 together and then you do 5 on your own. Mr. Duffy had trouble fixing his son's bike blank. He figured it would blank if he didn't repair it. Through, fair, here, brake? Can a bike have a brake? If you don't repair something, can it break? Does that make sense? All right, so which brake would go first? His bike's brake. So that's the brake like on your handlebars where you squeeze it and it stops. Which brake would that be? The top or the bottom one? It'd be the bottom. And then he figured it would break just like that stick. Okay, so then we can cross off break. All right, let's look at the next one. Jenna put a cup of blank in a bowl as her sister walked in with a blank in a vase. Some context clues here. What could you put in a bowl and also in a vase? What do you think? Flour. Which flour would she put in a bowl? And which flour would you put in a vase? Well, when she puts a cup of flour in a bowl, I'm guessing she's cooking, right? So I know this one's the flour, the plant. So the flour for baking would be this one. And then we'd plug in that flour. This is kind of fun, isn't it? We really have to think here. All right. Do you blank the thunder in the distance? I hope the storm doesn't come blank. Oh, can you think of that one? Which one would it be? Here? Yes. Or here, right? So which one would be the first one? Do you hear the thunder in the distance? Which here would it be? Well, the one with the ear, right? The one where we drew the little ear? Because it has ear in it. So then I hope it doesn't come here would be E-R-E. All right, 2 more and then you're on your own, friends. We're going to blank to Bermuda where they're having a great blank of Bermuda shorts. I'm stuck on that one. We're going through to Bermuda where they're having a great through of Bermuda shorts. Oh, I know which one it is. Do you? All right, I'll give you a hint if you don't know. Bermuda is like a tropical place in the water. So you might not be able to drive a car or an airplane to get to this place. You might have to what? Use a boat? Oh, sail? Does that make sense? Yeah, so you'd use the boat, that kind of sail, to Bermuda, where they're having a great sale of Bermuda shorts. Bermuda shorts are just like longer shorts. A sale, so they're cheaper. Oh, did you get tricked on that one? I did. All right, cross that one off. We've got one more together. Jerry blank the basketball, blank the hoop. Oh, try to plug that one in. See if you can find it and put the correct homophone where it belongs. I'll give you 30 more seconds. Jerry threw, which through did you use? Did you use that through? The basketball through the hoop. Is that what you got? If you did, kiss your brain. Ooh, ooh. All right, so you have fair, tide, mist, and past left. Okay, so for your discussion post, after you're done doing 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, you're going to post for the discussion post. This is just something fun. You don't have to do it. Write a sentence using 2 of the homophones from the word box, underline the homophones. So if you want to come up with your own sentence, you can, okay? All right, well, I hope you can use some context clues and you don't get tricked like I did on our homophones. And what does a homophone mean again? 2 words that just sound the same. That's it. They don't mean the same thing and they are not spelled the same. All right, have fun, my friends. I'll talk to you later. Bye.